Welcome into NFL Daily here on Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. 6 or 7 feet away from me is Tom Downey. Today's show presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. Get 20% off and free shipping, the best men's grooming tools out there. Trust me, you want to take advantage of that deal. We've got some breaking news. No preseason games. The NFL offered to the NFLPA, let's just scrap it. We'll get you what you want. You got the longer acclimation period, longer training camp. Probably the safer route to go here in the end, Tom, with the coronavirus certainly still being a big concern among NFL players.
Yeah, of course. We mentioned earlier that the NFL dropped it down to one. I think that came out this weekend. They dropped it down to one preseason game. Now it's down to 0. So no preseason games, longer ramp-up time, longer training camp. The NFLPA and the players didn't want to play in the games because in most cases they have OTAs to get more or less their bodies acclimated to playing football again to reduce the risk of injuries. That's not what would have happened here. So they've offered, and at some point will be accepted, no preseason games this year.
And my point was, look, if you can't get 2, you might as well do 0. Like, I don't think one preseason game does a lot. So in the end, 0 preseason games probably makes the most
One
sense.
note, you're going to see some very sloppy play early this season. It's not going to be the normal season, which, we already knew at this point.
So we ask you this question. How many preseason games should there be? I would say either 0, 1, or 2, or, the common answers there.
Yeah.
I think it's either 2 or 0. That's what I think. I think if you can't find a way to do 2, just do 0, longer training camp. We'll start in September.
I'd prefer 2, but I'd like at least one preseason game because I think it's going to really help out some of those bottom-of-the-roster guys who are fighting for even just a practice squad spot, depending on if the NFL expands rosters or not. But I at least like to have one preseason game this year.
So let us know what you guys think down in the comments section. While you're doing that, why not hit that red subscribe button? Look, we're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers as quick as possible. We got daily NFL videos for you guys leading up to the season. We're going to keep you guys updated on the latest potential cancellations, whatever's going on with the preseason. No one's going to keep you covered more often and more quickly than we will here at Chat Sports. So hit that big red subscribe button. We do Q&As, all kinds of different segments. Go ahead and subscribe today. Join the movement here on Chat Sports. Now, Byron Jones of the Miami Dolphins, Tom, he's kind of been leading the charge from the players on social media with the hashtag We Want to Play, but also voicing the concerns of, hey, we want to play, but we want to make sure the proper safety protocols are in place.
It was an interesting designed push here, led by Byron, who kind of came up with the idea on an NFL player union reps call. He was the Cowboys rep last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the Dolphins rep again this year once that's finally determined. I'm not surprised the players took this path. You kind of saw a little bit of that from the MLB-PA, or the last time they went through that type of whole issue and negotiation, trying to negotiate in the public, as these things often are done, Harrison, I think made some sense for the players, and it's at least led to some progress, which, as far as I'm concerned, I just want football to be played. I think that's a good thing in the end. NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to daily testing during the first 2 weeks of training camp,
That's
Harrison.
a lot of tests.
It's a lot of tests. Now, it's only for the first 2 weeks, and then I think the target number for like the tier 1 and the players, so like the coaches and the players, is 5%. If they get below a 5% positive rate, then they'll go to every other day testing.
Yep.
It is significant. That's a significant amount. And the players really wanted this too. They wanted to have the testing because players are reporting for some teams today.
Yeah, literally.
They're here.
Chiefs and Texans rookies report today. All other rookies report tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st. The 23rd is when quarterbacks and injured players are set to report. Then by next Monday, all teams and players are set to be at their facilities.
Chiefs and Texans, since they play Thursday Night Football to open the year, they actually report a little bit earlier. So this little back and forth has been interesting. The report that came along with they've agreed to daily testing, that was the final of the 7 health and safety protocols they were trying to figure out. So that's a really good sign on that front, that they figured out the plan for showing up. Of course, there's one big thing they have to figure out now. Well, I guess one group of multiple things they got to figure out, which is how do they handle opt-outs, how do they handle the money side of that, and how do they handle what if games get canceled, and of course salary cap impact.
Well,
so a lot still to do.
Well, I'll add one more in there on top of all that. Is the NFL going to have a specific plan in place when positive tests come in during the season? And what is that? I don't know if you can have an exact plan for that, but I think that's where some of the concern comes into play.
No, I agree.
From the players, because they're like, yeah, sure, we all want to play. We want as safe as possible. But when this happens, what's the response from the league? That's what everybody wants to know.
Last I checked was that I think that's for individual teams, it's the infectious disease response report or plan or whatever. Like, I think there were still like 7 or 8 teams that hadn't submitted by earlier today.
So we're going to make this the pinned comment on this video. Will the 2020 season start on time? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You want to support the show, go ahead, scroll on down. The pinned comment, it's the top comment down in the comment section. So let us know, Y for yes or N for no. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. Like I mentioned, you get the Lawnmower 3.0. Tom, the balls are going to thank you because, look, you don't want to feel like the Amazon rainforest down there. And, hey, look, we're a pair of married men here. We've got significant others. It benefits them as well. So I encourage you guys to get the best men's grooming tool out there at the Lawnmower 3.0 at manscaped.com/chat. 20% off plus free shipping. It's the best in the game out there.
I had some really dirty jokes planned about your now wife, but you just got married, Harrison.
I appreciate that. Save those for at least next week.
Yeah, I'm going to take the high road here, but I can assure you my wife appreciates it when I use it as well.
So the NFL's plan to return, Russell Wilson has kind of been, a voice of reason here for the Seattle Seahawks, as have several other players, including Tyler Lockett. As, look, Russell Wilson's point in terms of the 2020 season being safe has been, my wife's pregnant, so I don't want to, be in an unsafe environment, bring home the coronavirus to my wife and kids, and have that be a concern as well.
I think for Wilson and for several other, and really I think most of the players, it's less about themselves and their concerns about getting sick or anything because, they run risk of injury every time they step on the football field. But their loved ones don't take that same risk. It's not like if you tear your ACL, your wife also immediately tears her ACL. There's a big difference there, and especially when your wife is pregnant like Russ is, or when you're like Tyler Lockett and you saw a family member go through it.
A 27-year-old family member,
that's concerning for you. So it's not like they're saying we're never going to play. It's that they're saying, hey, can we have a full-scale plan here from training camp to opting out to all of that, which as of yet, with camp here, the NFL hasn't fully finalized.
And unlike the NBA or the NHL, it's not like these players are all going to be contained within a bubble, per se.
Yeah.
They're going to be traveling across the country for 4 or 5 months. So the chances of, interacting with someone who could have the virus and get it for someone is more likely in the NFL than it is the NBA. That's just the reality of the situation. And look, these NFL players understand. I'd say, I don't know the number, probably 80% of them, if not more, understand, look, if I get it, I'm probably going to be fine. But they have families to go home to, and that is the concern there. So Russell Wilson, Lockett, some of these other guys from the Seahawks have kind of been voicing that concern. Type me if you don't want the NFL to be like baseball. What we mean is, can we have proper negotiations, not through social media?
Can we not drag it out? Can we just make sure that they play on time?
Yes.
I know.
And not a 30% season.
I know what I am saying comes from a very selfish point of view. But damn it, I just want football. Figure it out, all right? You are the guys making millions, if not billions. Just figure it out. Let's get a deal done so we can have our football back and have something to look forward to.
Type me. Okay, Antonio Brown drama, it just won't go away.
This is great. God, I love AB.
Lots of different angles here, Tom. But basically, he went on a tweet storm, not the first time in the last 12 months. At first, he hinted at retirement. Then he just full-fledged said, not worth the risk. My career's over.
First, he's like, am I going to retire? And we'll show you guys the tweets here in a little bit. But this comes on the heels of another report saying the Seahawks had done a deep dive into Antonio Brown, hadn't decided yet. And then all of a sudden, AB's like, maybe I'll just retire. Wild.
More on this story in a sec, but for you Seahawks fans, go ahead and get subscribed to our Seahawks-only channel. It's growing like crazy, almost at 2,000 subs. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. We'll put that link in the comments. It's going to be in the description. The link's right there on screen for you guys, so type that into your browser. Go ahead and get subscribed to our Seahawks-only channel. Putting up several videos away over there on the Seattle Seahawks. So here's kind of the tweet storm from AB, and this is where it starts. Is it time to walk away? I done checked
everything, yeah.
Everything in the game.
He did it all.
Question mark, exclamation point. So,
I will be your Antonio Brown translator.
Yeah, exactly. So then, 5 minutes later at 1:22 p.m. Central Time, 2:22 on the East Coast. At this point, the risk is greater than the reward. Thank you for everyone who has been part of the journey. I sincerely thank you for everything. Life goes on. 84.
Don't need a translator.
Before we get to the next one, I'm going to translate this one. This one is, the Seahawks may have been his last hope, and they just decided it's not, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So I think that's AB saying,
hey, we don't talk about OJ on here.
I'm just going to retire. You say we don't. Check our prior videos. We absolutely do. And then this last one, I saw, I conquered, mission complete, call God.
Which is kind of concerning the way he ended that one. Yeah. But he also immediately followed it up with a tweet to his rap album. I think he just is trying to make more sales.
Exactly.
Everyone's checking his timeline now.
How long until he tweets a video working out with the current NFL quarterback?
2 days.
Well, although with training camp potentially starting.
3 days. Well, here's the thing. This is the third time Antonio Brown has retired.
Exactly.
In the past calendar year. It's the third time.
Yeah, and has he filed papers to the NFL once?
Of course
not.
Of
course not. So do you believe AB is actually retiring? AB for yes, type FAB for no. Of course not. If I don't see 500 FABs in the comments section, then you guys have failed because you believe Antonio Brown, and he's not someone who's worth believing. So I fully expect to see a lot of FABs. Let's get a quick Raheem Mostert update before we get to some Aaron Rodgers drama here, Tom. Apparently, he's gone to a high-ranking official in the Niners organization and said, Let's figure this out.
So
let's clear the air.
This is just Rap making sure he doesn't accidentally out his source. It is very clearly either John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
Like 100%. And here's how that conversation went. Raheem, you still want to get paid, right? Yeah, I do. Well, guess what? Show up to camp. Because otherwise we're going to fine you, and you'll pretty much lose money playing football this year.
Yeah.
Guess who's showing up to camp? It's Raheem.
Yeah, he hasn't made enough money in the NFL and doesn't have enough money in his bank account to afford to hold out. It's just Le'Veon Bell could do that a few years ago.
Especially
Raheem
for a
Mostert,
back rapidly approaching age 30.
Yeah, that's not going to
Who relies on speed.
And look, he's got somewhat of a point. He's clearly their lead back, and he's not asking for $10 million per year. He wants Tevin Coleman money, which is only like a $2 million increase in pay. So I understand where he's coming from, but the bottom line is that he doesn't really have much of a choice here.
The other tricky part here is that, yes, like clearly Raheem is a better back than some of the other guys, but A, it's a super replaceable position, and B, if any team/coach in the NFL is proven you can just rotate backs with little to no drop-off,
It's
Shanahan and the 49ers. They find 1,000-yard backs literally on the street.
Those Raheem,
I could rush for 200 yards with Shanahan.
Exactly. Is Mostert worth $5 million per year? That's what I said it at. That would be a little bit more than Tevin Coleman. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I think he's worth more than he makes now. Is he worth $5 million in that scheme, though?
And this is the tricky part with any contract negotiation, right? For any individual player, what's just $1 or $2 million more? They can easily make that work, although I think San Francisco, rightfully, probably more concerned with getting George Kittle paid before Raheem does.
So cast your votes, 1 for yes or 2 for no. Manscaped's got all kinds of products. We told you about the Lawnmower 3.0. They also got the Weed Whacker, the #1 nose and ear trimmer in the game. Again, manscaped.com/chat will get you 20% off plus free shipping. Tom, I didn't even know that I had ear hair until my now wife and at the time,
that's so embarrassing
at the time girlfriend pointed it out a couple of years ago. And I tried a lot of different products, couldn't figure it out. The old, piece of junk razor I had wasn't getting it done. Manscaped hooked me up though with the Weed Whacker. It's clean, it's smooth, no
hear
problems
better now,
anymore.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh, but now you can't use the excuse of, sorry, honey, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. But look, the pros outweigh the cons. Manscaped.com/chat. Go check out the Weed Whacker, 20% off plus free shipping. All right, last story here. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be angry in 2020? I don't want to mull on this for too long, Tom, but in classic ESPN fashion, searching for topics on their morning Get Up show, basically they had a few of their reporters on saying how motivated, how angry Aaron Rodgers is going to play this year after drafting Jordan Love and not adding any talent around him this year.
Hilarious.
The problem is, it doesn't matter how angry and motivated you are if you're throwing to Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard all the time.
That's slander of those two not great receivers.
It's just, it's
but
facts.
no, look, they're in an awkward spot. Look,
Hey, they got Adams.
He's great. You need more than one receiver in today's NFL,
Yes.
unless you're going to run the football a lot like the Packers are clearly planning on doing, if not this year, once Jordan Love takes the helm. So, yeah, I think we might get Aaron Rodgers, angry Aaron Rodgers. He also might be angry at his own team, which also could be a problem.
Yeah, that's not an ideal scenario up in Green Bay. Look, we know that as long as they have Rodgers, they're going to have a chance, but they didn't do themselves any favors if they're planning on winning.
I know what they learned from history. God, we had Brett Favre. We lucked in Aaron Rodgers. Let's do it again. Except, Jordan Love was not Aaron Rodgers coming out. Like, this was not a player who was supposed to be maybe the number one overall pick who fell down because he had a bad season. It just, Rodgers fell because, well, he just happened to fall. Like, Jordan Love was not good last year. That's a concern.
Angry Rodgers in 2020, we'll have to wait and see.